Hello and welcome to the Insert Slogan Here podcast, episode number 9. I am Sam.
I'm Logan.
And before we start the intro and the slogan of the week, here's your episode explicit warning that we're going to be discussing controversial topics. Always going to throw in some, innuendos and vulgar language as always. So if you're sensitive to any of those things and any possible sensitive topics in the future, like abortion or mass shootings, and I hate saying mass shootings, but mass shootings and shit, then this is not going to get any easier. So just stop listening right now. So you hit that red X, like right there. I think, yeah, I'm pointing to it. See, I'm pointing to it. Okay, so if you are still here, thank you so much for tuning in. We got a great show coming up for you, and Logan has the slogan of the week this week.
Yes, I do. The slogan of this week is live responsibly enough to earn the love that dogs give us. The reason that I'm saying that is because I recently have procured a dog named Jack. He's a Shiba Inu. I'll be talking about him later, so don't you worry. But absolutely adorable, and you got to earn that love, that unconditional love that dogs give to humans.
That's so true.
It's especially bad if your dog's ever disappointed in you. So,
oh my god, it's so sad. My mom's dog, when he just looks at you with the saddest eyes, like, you upset me. You're not doing what I want. You're a piece of shit. That is what I feel when he sits down. So I'm glad that you are feeling similar feelings.
Well, he definitely loves Allie more than me. That's just a fact. Like, when I come home, he's happy, but then when Allie comes home, he ignores me. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Jesus. Okay.
Well, I mean, apparently, male dogs tend towards, or at least, especially for this breed, Shiba Inu, for those of you who don't know what that is Doge. Apparently, Shiba Inus, like, follow the opposite sex. So, like, a girl Shiba Inu would follow a man more closely, and a male Shiba Inu will follow a female around the house more closely. So,
Did you know? Did you know that prior?
We were told the day that we actually, like, physically met the dog.
Really?
That was the case. But I wasn't surprised.
Okay.
Mainly because I'm 6'3", and dogs have had the history of, not liking me right away.
Yeah.
One of Allie's friends had I can't remember what the mix was, but it was a bigger dog, and everyone in her friend's family was, like, very short. So I was by far the tallest, and it just ran away from me all night. One of our other friends' dogs, one of our mutual friends, has a different dog of the same litter, would hide behind a couch and just make this low-pitched grumbling noise whenever I was near him. So, I've had a history of dogs not liking me, but
yeah,
Jack's been warming up to me quite well.
Well, that's good, dude. I'm happy for you.
In any case, sadly, we have to move on, and before we get into the sad parts of this podcast, we'll start here.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight, Sam? Dumbledore or Gandalf?
Gandalf, because Gandalf came back from the dead. Not Dumbledore,
bitch. Dumbledore never truly died. He was in.
Oh, whatever, dude.
It was a ruse. He was in that train station looking place where Harry never died either. Dumbledore went to.
Yeah, but then Harry came back.
That's all.
Harry came back because he had unfinished business. Dumbledore died. Because it was his time.
Dumbledore just went to Pig Farts with Rumble Roar. For those of you who haven't seen the musical, watch it. Anyway,
it's a fantastic musical.
Dumbledore would kick his ass. I mean, just based off of the one fight scene against Voldemort alone, when they're in, like, the Ministry, just based off of that, Gandalf has no chance. No amount of eagles are gonna save you from that.
It doesn't. Gandalf can call any sort of creature and just defeat it. Maybe he'll die in the process, like he did the Balrog. But you know what? Yeah. He still defeated him. So I'm saying Gandalf will
summon a Balrog, and then he's done.
Let's hope not. Otherwise, my Gandalf's fucking dead.
Oh, God.
Gandalf the Grey. If he was Gandalf the Grey, he wouldn't stand a chance. But if it was Gandalf the White, Gandalf the White, I think.
Dude, that sounded racist.
Shut the fuck up. God.
Okay. Dude, that's just white privilege right there. You're just more powerful just because you take your... Anyway.
Fucking Lord of the Rings, dude.
I know. We're crossing now. We're
Whatever,
falling
man.
off the rails quick here. Let's hop back on the rails and then start being really, really sad.
All right.
Uh, we're gonna have to start making a counter. I don't think the counter will ever leave zero of terrible events that have happened in the past week. I think we've had one episode where there hasn't been like a terrible tragedy that has occurred in the previous week.
I agree.
It is just ridiculous. This week, the flavor of the week has been a recent church shooting in the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The gunman killed 26 and several more are injured. I'm unsure of the statuses of the other injured people. I believe that quite a few of them are now, responsive and good and, better health. They're stable, I should say. But I don't know about all of them.
No.
So, yeah, it's just a terrible mess. Of course, thoughts and prayers always go out, despite the fact that some people hate that term. I mean, especially when you're getting shot up in a church, thoughts and prayers are out.
For sure.
It's just despicable. So, what you think, Sam? I'll let you go first because I know.
I was super surprised to like read about this.
Mm-hmm.
I was keeping up with it like the day after, or the day of, because it happened like in the morning, and then like I saw it like later in the day, and I'm like, holy shit, are you kidding me? The dude apparently he had a history of domestic violence, and he was discharged from the Air Force for bad conduct, which isn't a dishonorable discharge. And if you get dishonorably discharged, you do not get the right to bear arms taken away from you. So he got his guns legally.
Not necessarily the case, actually.
What?
Because domestic violence actually also falls under, like, he didn't, it's not that he lost his ability to bear arms because he was, because of the difference between dishonorably discharge and bad conduct discharge.
Mm-hmm.
He lost it actually because domestic abusers are not allowed to have guns regardless of if you're in the military or not. Mm-hmm. So he actually still lost it. Not for, you're right. If it would have just been a release on bad conduct, he would have kept his right to bear arms. He did, however, lose it because of that. I don't remember the bill number or the amendment name. It had a catchy name to it because it was based off of a senator who proposed it. But
of course,
it does apply to both the military and civilians. So,
and can you answer the question of how he did get his gun then?
Because the Air Force didn't report him to the FBI.
Okay. So yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. I was like, the Air Force apparently messed up really bad and didn't properly do the thing that they should have done. And I don't know, maybe this would have been prevented and maybe not. I don't know. But people were throwing that out there, and the news media was really going headlong for it. And I'm thinking, well, yes and no. I don't know if he would have been able to do what he had done if he didn't have the ability to get that firearm the way he did. But I don't know. We're never gonna know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no. I thought what I had read was that he got discharged from the Air Force for bad conduct, and because like they didn't report it to the FBI, he was still able to get it.
That is true. That's why. Like he should have lost his rights, but didn't. That's what. Okay,
gotcha. So we're on the same page. I just told you my information completely wrong.
No, you said it right. There were news sources that I read that were reporting that he never lost his right to bear arms. That is untrue.
Okay.
You do lose your right to bear arms once you've committed domestic abuse, and he domestically abused both his.
It was his stepson. It was his stepson and wife at the time.
And his wife at the time. Yeah. Horrible, terrible, no good, very bad person.
Yeah, so he gets super pissed, gets a gun, and then he goes to this church where apparently his former mother-in-law was attending. His former wife and former stepson were not there at the time. Fortunately, I guess, but he just opened fire on the side of this small-ass church. It's not a very big church. Like maybe,
it's not a very big town.
It maybe would fit like 50 people. Maybe
600 people in the town.
Yeah, so 50 people probably, and 26 people were killed, and it was not good.
Absolutely terrible, including I think it was the pastor's daughter or something. Somebody related to the pastor. It was just awful to hear about.
Props to the dude though, that a neighbor who came out and started opening fire on the guy when he was walking back to his fucking truck.
Stephen Williford is his name. He is an absolute hero. Like, bar none, absolute hero.
And then
I will
he
gladly say his name.
runs to this truck, who was like he was a bystander. He was watching it all go down, and he didn't have a weapon. So of course, I'm glad he didn't put himself in harm's way until the neighbor with the gun, was like, "Yo, let's chase this guy." After the man who shot the church drove away in his truck, the guy, or the neighbor with the gun, ran to the bystander's truck and was like, "Hey, let's fucking chase him." And they called like police services and everything, and were telling them their location. So fuck yeah, dude. Fuck.
Chased him for 11 miles.
Fuck yes.
That is what I'm talking about.
So yeah,
that
like you said, Stephen Wolford is a hero, and his name deserves to be heard, and all of the people that have been affected by this deserve to be heard. But so back on to kind of where I wanted this discussion to go. Yeah, one, it's maximum tilting.
Oh god, yeah.
And I kind of, maybe another time though, we can discuss like mass shootings as like a philosophy and theory, because I'm gonna hold my theories
or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Because that will be I think it'll be an interesting topic, but not for today. So in light of this, I've been thinking a lot what steps can be taken to reduce this violence, and you're seeing a bunch of people talk about mental health. Of course, you're seeing gun control come up in politics, and everyone's talking about and blah 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 blah. But I personally don't think gun control is the way to go. It might be like certain steps could be made, but nothing drastic. I would say nothing drastic to, all right, fuck all y'all civilians. We're taking your fucking guns. Like, not that drastic, please. But maybe something, just a little bit, but not a lot. Not a lot.
I'd have to read something before I can agree to it or disagree to it, but I can hear where you're coming from there.
Yeah.
I think that the part about this that a lot of people don't pay attention to is that this is the absolute worst situation if you try to push gun control. Because if you look at every single aspect of this case, gun control would have either made it worse or just not worked at all. So you want to, I'll just step through it quick. So the guy gets a gun illegally because of government inefficiencies who you want to give control to.
Yep.
The guy is then taken care of by an NRA instructor. So he's like a licensed instructor for the NRA, who the far left hates the NRA and hates guns.
Yeah.
He used an AR-15, which is the number one gun that they go against.
Yep.
In order to stop the shooting, and it happened in a gun-free zone from a guy who should not have had the gun anyway. Like, it's just, the government didn't do his job, and you want to give them more power? Like, there's just so many things in this that are just like bad after bad after bad, especially if you want that gun control. I'm saying that I'm going to come at it from this angle. This is an obviously horrible situation.
For sure.
But there are definitely people that come out of it that are heroes, like I've said before and will continue to say here. So much bravery to, see it happening in your town and then do something about it. Yeah. That is patriotic beyond all measure. Like,
oh yeah.
And trying to get rid of guns would not have helped here, and it could have possibly harmed more people. So I'm just happy that there's a person stronger than I there to take care of this situation.
Oh, hands down, dude.
And some people are not as, I'll be generous here, are not as willful about these sorts of things. So Ted Lieu, I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly, he's a Democratic congressman from California, decided that he was going to make a stand, and during the congressional moment of silence for this event, he walked out.
Yeah.
Just cause. So very troubling response there.
Yeah.
He did it with the claim of wanting to raise awareness for, gun control, and he politicized it right away and everything, of course. But then my Lord and Savior Ben Shapiro went to Twitter and said, how about the people for the New York terrorist attack? How come you didn't walk out then? Are those people less important? Like, because he's walked out for all of the gun massacres, but he doesn't for any of the other tragedies that bestow upon us. So it's a little bit of a problem there, a little bit of an inconsistency. I'm okay with you walking out if you're walking out for everything.
Yeah.
But if you're just gonna try to grandstand and push gun control off of the deaths of people, that's you're just standing on the graves of the people who died during this tragedy.
Yeah, so. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. But I've said my more than 2 cents probably at this point, so I'll let you have some of the floor.
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, we both agree on the point that I think pushing gun control is not the best way to do it. I just, I don't know. Besides the mental health avenue, what's another avenue to tackle this? Because let's just say, the government pours so much more money into those services for people to get help.
Okay.
Those people might not want to even get help. And even if they are mandated, they could just run and then they end up in jail anyway. And that doesn't help anybody. And then possibly they get out on parole, blah, blah, blah. And then they're back doing what they probably would have done 6 months or even a year or two ago. Like trying to get a gun to go kill people because they're pissed off.
Right. There are a couple schools of thought there, actually, that come to my mind anyway. The first one would be get guns into the hands of good people, too, like you saw this time. It did make an impact. I know that I heard a saying where it's, if you need the police in seconds, they'll be there in minutes. The police can't get there that quick. Like if you drive across a town, it's going to take you a minute or two.
Oh, for sure.
And in a minute or two, stuff goes down. That's just not what you want to see. So you need more people there to be able to help take care of it. That's one school of thought. Maybe there's some issue there where, more guns might make more problem, but in any case, the other school of thought that I've heard or would prescribe to is that guy needs him some Jesus. In all honesty, he was a militant atheist. I know that a lot of people find calm, a sense of calm, a sense of self-reflection when they have some form of religion to go to. Now, I'm not saying that he has to get, Christianity in his life or anything, but if you look at, say, Buddhism, nonviolence. You look at Hinduism, nonviolence. You look at Christianity, practically nonviolence. I mean, there are just so many avenues. Even, I would say even Islam. If you're practicing like most moderate Muslims try to in America, nonviolence. There are plenty of avenues, and knowing somebody out there is holding you accountable might assist. I know that there's probably just a correlation there, but I'm guessing that as we've strayed away from the church, there have been increase in gun violence. I'm betting it's just a correlation, but
could be.
There's got to be something there to hold you accountable. Because if you just think you're dead and then you're gone, I mean, you're not really gonna hold yourself accountable for a lot of your actions that you make. So it's just one idea. I know that I'm not the most staunch of followers of my faith, so
same.
Take that with a grain of salt, but it's just it's an avenue to go down or to at least consider.
That's a good one.
And it's also community. So if you're ever feeling alone or like you have nobody to talk to, you always have someone to talk to. If you're in a church community, including like your pastor, say, you could go up to them after church or after service and be able to discuss some things that are in your life. So it's always a community.
So I guess that's a fair point. But I think in order to be able to also, I just thought of another avenue. So let's just say that this person does not, like, you just know this person. Like, let's just say you're a bystander, you know this person. You just see all these little signs, and then you have the go-to to do something about it. My issue with that is, here in America, we're lazy motherfuckers, okay? And consumerism is a thing, and we like doing our own thing, and we're very blind. Like, not everybody is. I'm not casting a majority, myself included. Sometimes I just like to put on my little blinds to the rest of the world and just go back to my apartment and just do nothing and just ignore the world because it's either just a full of shit or I'm just not feeling it that day. So, I guess my point is, I think if civilians are going to have play a bigger role, then I think we just have to become more aware, unplug our headphones, stop looking at our screens on our phones, and probably give a shit. I'd say probably give a shit a little bit more.
I would agree. I'd agree with that, Sam. That's another good avenue I didn't even think of. So
yeah. But we've beaten this to death. No pun intended there at all. But Yeah, I was that too was that too
That's one
far?
of those innuendos or offensive. I don't know. That's in there somewhere. So we're gonna go ahead and move
Fuck
on
yeah.
past that. That was great. I love it.
So yeah, again, last closing thoughts. Fuck that guy and everything that he stands for. That will never be tolerated ever, I think, in the history of ever. And his name will probably be forgotten in just a amount of time. Fuck that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the people that are affected by this are just beyond great humans. And I wish all the family and friends of the victims the best of luck. And that shit's hard.
I don't think I could say it better, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it with that.
That shit's hard. Moving on to some more shitty shit that's not as shitty as death. Comcast and Verizon apparently tried to talk to
Speaking of shitty, Comcast.
to the FCC about possibly altering a law that will allow ISPs to have a more firm grasp on net neutrality. And if you don't know what net neutrality is, it's basically saying, hey, fuck off of our internet and don't let the internet have rules. Like, there are unwritten rules, but don't start writing in your code and having or giving the ISPs more power than they already have. Because just type in an ISP into Google and do some research, and you will find that they are very selfish conglomerates, and they like to control and throttle you, the consumer, for money. And net neutrality is the one thing that I think all internet dwellers enjoy, and it's they're trying to kind of like shit on that a little bit, but basically Comcast urged the FCC to kind of reverse a Title II common carrier service, which means it would get rid of any legal authority the FCC uses to enforce net neutrality rules. That's not fucking good, because the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, is our Lord and Savior, kind of. The shitty part of this whole thing is, that they kind of intend to do just that. And that's not good. Not good.
This is the one place where I tend to disagree with a lot of the more like the people that I tend to agree with, like the Stephen Crowders, the Ben Shapiros. I tend to disagree with them when it comes to net neutrality. Another good way to think about it is that let's say that Verizon wanted to put out something called UsTube tomorrow. They wouldn't be able to then throttle YouTube and then promote their brand, give you faster speeds on their services. That's the point of net neutrality, is that, across the board, whether you're going to give a shitty connection or good connection, it's going to be shitty for every single website or good for every single website, mainly shitty for everything. But it's going to be equally the same across the board, so that you're not, peddling your own goods.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
And I'm not okay. I know a lot of people are okay with, revealing this because, they'll give us better internet, and then we can, loosen up the restrictions on the market. But then, and they say things like, this is, they've never taken advantage of this type of thing before. And I think to myself, they've never been this powerful before. Like, they've never been, in this age where everything is now revolving around the internet. They've never held this power. I'm scared to see what they would do with it, especially since a lot of them are monopolies in the areas that you are. Unless you're in a huge city, you really don't have a choice. So, yeah, this is the one where I'm thinking, net neutrality might be the way to go with this. But
it better be, bro. If we lose net neutrality, like, that is the start of our apocalypse, and our utopia that is America is going to tumble along with the rest of the world. Because, like, it's literally going against democracy and our free market. Literally. Like, YouTube is a huge ass business, and giving the ISPs power to throttle them because they're not a part of Verizon, or Verizon or Comcast wants to support their own shit. Like, fuck that. You're scummy, and stop.
Right.
But yeah, so Verizon also tried to talk to the FCC about their whole net neutrality bullshit, and trying to preempt state laws from, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Interfering, or, like, I guess, enforcing what the FCC puts out there. So hopefully they stand with that. And because Comcast said it supports a free and open internet, quote, and, quote, legally enforceable net neutrality protections, end quote. Fuck you. Yeah. Except, I will say, though, on the defense of Comcast / Xfinity, I have not really had any issues since, like, the second day of my install. Like, that day that Comcast went down, like, just a few days ago, never happened. I came home and I got on the internet. I was really afraid, though, because our squad was like, yo, Sam, or anybody have Comcast? You're kind of fucked. I was like, shit. So I looked up on the internet Comcast, and the first thing is Comcast goes down, like, nationwide across America. And I'm thinking to myself, fuck. That means I'm going to have to deal with that when I get home. And I got home and I was fine. So, Papa bless. Thank you. George, the guy who set up my internet from Comcast. Fucking stand-up guy. So yeah, anywho, look up some net neutrality and educate yourself. Moving on. A lady gets fired from her job after flipping off Trump's motorcade. And the reason she got fired, okay, was that she told her HR department that, oh yeah, that was me. Like, she made headline news, okay? She made headline news for riding her bike, and then the Trump motorcade, like, overtook her, like, you know, went around the side of her and, you know, was maybe a little close. I don't know. It's probably hearsay. The point is, she got photographed flipping off the motorcade, and then she got let go. Thoughts, Logan?
I'm pretty sure, I don't know who I heard this from, but I thought that she worked for a government agency, and that's the reason why she got fired, because you can't just do that to the president if you work for the government. I don't know, though, if that's not the case. I mean, she also posted it to social media, which is something you're not supposed to do.
Yes, I agree. So, yeah, that was a part of, like,
I can understand why she got fired.
Oh, for sure.
That's how I'll say it.
For sure. She got she posted it to Facebook, and then it went against her social media in general, and she got and it goes against the company's policy.
Right.
Yeah.
Clean case there for me.
But the issue is, like, she also threw in, you know, to counter that a coworker had posted wait, hold on. I'm reading the article. So gotcha. She previously reported a male colleague for calling a coworker a fucking libtard asshole on Facebook. The man, a senior director, was not fired. This is from CNBC.com, and the link will be in the description.
It's obviously because he's a man. I mean, he doesn't get fired ever. He could have done the same thing, and they would have given him a promotion because he's a man.
Oh my god!
No, fucking libtard. I don't know. If it goes against policy, they should be consistent there, but it's not as direct toward the president of the United States as the flipping off of his motorcade. So they're slightly different situations. I don't think that the male coworker posted it. I'll say it like this. If roles are flipped, the guy's flipping off the president and the girl posted that comment, it should be the same situation should occur, right?
Okay, yeah.
The person flipping the person off and then actively posting it to try to get attention should be fired. The person that's commenting passively should be, provided that they're not doing any more, you know, damning sort of insult, if they're just calling them a libtard, you know, that can kind of slide a little bit, but still not. It's still reprehensible behavior, especially if you're if you're an active speaker for on behalf of the company. That'll make a little bit more sense as we delve forward. But as an active spokesman for the company, you should be trying to hold up their ideals. So yeah, the guy should have been in trouble, but I don't think it's fireable. Like, your comments on Facebook should be fireable offenses. But
I disagree. I think certain comments on Facebook.
It depends. Right, certain comments. It depends on how off the mark you're getting there.
That's true. Have to read. That's true.
Yeah, because I know that we talked about it a couple weeks ago where that person said that the people in Las Vegas deserve to die, and she got fired, and she deserved to be fired.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, we did.
But it should be punishable, of course.
Of course. Yeah, I think there should be some reprimands for employees and shit for. You can't type fucking libtard asshole about a fellow coworker on Facebook. You're an idiot. Like,
and then he tweeted it.
Yeah, like you're friends with this person on Facebook. Okay, so like you're subtweeting. You know, subtweeting. If you don't know what that means, is passively aggressive or no, passive aggressively calling somebody out publicly, but you're not saying their name on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So like people are gonna ask, "Oh, who are you fucking talking about? You're being super passive aggressive with that tweet. Ooh, subtweeting, blah blah blah." You're starting drama shit, and you shouldn't be saying that. But like, whenever I haven't had anybody on my Facebook timeline type fucking libtard asshole, and if they did type that on Facebook, like in a comment for a post or anything, I'd probably just remove them. And
All right, I'll
peace
keep that
out.
in mind. I'm gonna get you. No,
You're
I'm
not
kidding.
gonna.
You fucking libtard asshole.
See, you're
I'm gonna
calling it
get
to my
you.
face. That's a little different than like subtweeting.
Yeah, you're right.
It's way different.
Yeah, you're
See,
right. I
the
won't
next
name you
time
specifically. You'll know though. Next time I say libtard asshole, you know what I'm talking about.
you're gonna call me out, you're gonna tag me in the post, Sam. You fucking libtard asshole.
Stan, why are some people such fucking libtard assholes?
You take a picture of yourself looking at me like with that face that
Yes.
you just gave me. That look you just
The
gave me.
crazy eyes.
Yeah,
That
like
crazy eye look that you
fuck
give
you,
them.
Sam. Fuck you. So moving on more with our new segment here, Twitter. If you are not a fan of Twitter, if you don't go on Twitter, they used to have a limit on how many characters per tweet you could have. They recently doubled that from 140 to 280. The internet lost its mind. Okay, so like when that happened, I saw it for miles, and I'm exaggerating here, but miles. People would just like spam shit all day. Like they would do why, and like return like after every single line, and then
Yeah.
at the bottom it said seriously why. I was
I
I
love the one you showed me for Rocket League. What a save! What a save! What a save! What a save! What a save!
that shit is funny. So
Great.
yeah,
It is great.
so now people can type even longer, and I could care less, to be honest. Like it,
Why is it a multiple of 140? Why did they start with 140?
I'm not sure. Is it well? Think
Why
about
just
it
make it
though. Think
150?
what's how many characters do you have for texting? Let me see. Because I think it might be a tech thing. Like you can't.
Is it? Taking a look here. Not being super good about my smart.
106. Oh no, you definitely have more than like texting. You have more than 140.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe that's just Twitter's thing, and they're just like, you know what? Fuck it, we're doubling it. 280
yeah,
boys and girls and lads.
yeah. But I just mean like, why didn't they just make it like 150? Right? Like I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I'm happy that they have 280. I actually utilized that earlier today, kind of. Instead of typing out like 5 tweets or 6 tweets, I only had to type out like 2.5. That's cool.
That's true. I don't
Yeah.
mind I didn't mind that though. I kind of liked it because you had to follow and you actually had to be proactive in following A, your drama, and B, the story. If you're trying to follow up like a Twitter story or something.
Mhm.
But you know what? That's just me. And like I said at the beginning of the show, we talk about some controversial shit here, like abortion. And apparently, Mila Kunis doesn't like Mike Pence. Logan, go.
All right, so this is a fun story. Upon inauguration, there were a lot of people actually doing this, but Mila Kunis actually came out with this. I think it was yesterday. Uh, she said that she donated to Planned Parenthood under his name,
Oh yeah.
under Mike Pence's name,
Oh
because
yeah.
then they send you a letter. They would send Mike Pence a letter thanking him for the endorsement or whatever.
Yeah.
So obviously that's funny. Like I don't care.
that
That's great. That's some great stuff.
is
I'm really happy
hilarious.
that people are doing that. It's pretty funny. Despite the fact that I wish people wouldn't.
Why?
Well, I'm just not a Planned Parenthood supporter. That's for another day.
Oh, okay. That's news to me. This is a definite. Yeah. Go
I'm
on. Go on.
I'm okay with. I'll be happy to have this discussion. I'm okay with women seeking services, not necessarily abortion. I'm not pro-abortion in any way, shape, or form. So that would be why that is. So there are other services are all right, but I think there are other places that can do it that don't do abortion. So that would be my point. But in any case,
Yeah.
we'll
Another day.
One of these days, Sam, we're just gonna have to do 2 a week where we just have one debate topic on like Tuesday, and then we have this on Thursday. That might just be the best way to do it. I don't know. We're just spitballing here live.
Wait. I don't understand.
So like, instead of having a once a week podcast,
Yeah.
we'll have a twice a week podcast, but the other day is just debating a topic.
Oh fuck.
So that might be shorter, but we could just talk about the one topic instead of bouncing back and forth. Make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I'm
We'll
down to
talk
give it a
later.
try. I'm down to give it a try. We'll see. We'll
We'll
see.
talk later.
Yeah.
Anyway, uh, people in response to Mila Kunis doing this, since she is such a huge proponent for Jim Beam, the whiskey, people were boycotting it in response, and I'm curious to see what happens. Personally, I don't believe that they should drop Mila Kunis. I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a political statement. People are saying she's a spokesperson for Jim Beam. Jim Beam supports abortion. It's like, all right, maybe that's a little bit of an overstep because she's also an actress in movies. She's
Mhm.
not just she wasn't going on there like, hey, I really love Jim Beam, and you know what else I love? Abortion. It wasn't like that at all. So she's on there because of like Bad Moms Christmas or something that just came out
Yeah.
or whatever the.
Oh, yeah. I honestly completely forgot they came out with another one.
Yeah, me too. So but yeah, it's just weird to connect the two. But I guess it's not really up to me at this point. So I'm curious to see what happens. I hope they don't drop her. I'm guessing they will because if it affects their bottom line, they're going to because that's just how businesses work. But I guess we'll
Oh
see.
my. Oh my. Um yeah, I agree. I think Mila Kunis is totally in her right to to send Mike Pence fucking or send Planned Parenthood donations in Mike Pence's name.
Oh yeah,
I think
absolutely funny. Like great.
it's hilarious.
I laughed
And
openly when I heard about the first set of people doing this.
oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
people personally that have done it. Like they've
Very funny.
I don't know how many times they've done it, but they've done it at least once. So
Mm.
maybe I'll do it one day just so I can say I've done it. And then
Oh my God, I swear to God, if you get me with that, that'd be a cruel joke.
oh god.
Oh
Noted.
God, that'd be
But yeah,
amazing.
I don't
Fucking
understand
libtard
why
asshole.
like people were getting really pissed off and taking to Twitter and like calling her out, and
Yeah.
I don't like you, I don't understand it. Like if you're people are like I'm a Jack Daniels drinker anyway. It's fucking liquor. Like
Right.
you could jump from Jim Beam to Jack Daniels at the drop of a drop. Get it? Because it's not that big of a deal. You're getting drunk anyway. Like I don't think that matters too much.
No, I don't think it will.
Um
I'm
yeah.
just sad that they kind of stepped around her though. Like I'm okay with people tweeting at her, but they tweet at they're just trying to get people to lose their jobs. Like that's the same thing as if I were to, get fired for my political beliefs. That would be horrible. And I hate it when people try to do that to people on the
Ooh.
right. So it's just bullshit when people do it on any side. Like you
Yeah,
shouldn't go after people's jobs or sources of money just because they differ from you in belief.
I
It just
agree.
seems dumb and inconsistent.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense because like that person's job can have nothing to do with their political beliefs at all.
Right.
Like
Like
zero. So, yeah, fuck, I didn't even think about that till right now.
yeah, it's just dumb because you see people like there's a YouTuber that comes to mind. His name's Thunderfoot. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Nope.
He's a professor at a university, and he did a bunch of anti third wave feminist videos because social justice warriors, those types of feminists, where
Yep.
it's not really like equality, it's just kind of we hate all men type of thing. So he was making videos about that, and they tried to get him fired from his job.
And the university was like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God.
And that was a win, a social win.
Okay. Tell me about this Roy Moore thing, because I kind of don't really know what the fuck this story is.
So Roy Moore, who is a Republican Senate nominee for Alabama, he won the vote. Was accused of initiating a sexual encounter with a then 14-year-old when he was a 32-year-old assistant
District attorney.
DA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, so you're saying you're telling me that this story dropped right after he won the election?
Nope. Yes, this happened. This dropped this past week. It's been like 30 years.
Okay,
So it's been a while.
So yeah, I understand that, but what you're saying is the story dropped after he had already won the election, or
Correct.
oh
Correct.
fuck.
If they are true, he has to step down. That's just there's no place for this. He's not a.
Yeah, it's a little fucked
It's
up.
reprehensible behavior. He's got to get out of there. But that's just something that I think I just saw it a bunch on my scrolling through my Twitter, so I figured I'd plop it on here because that's
man.
I'm glad that people are dropping names.
Well, that's true. It makes me scared though that people, I've always had this innate fear. Okay, that let's just say, especially in college, like I had like that fear too of getting reprehensibly drunk and then sleeping with a girl, and then that girl also being super fucked up,
And then she
and
says you raped her.
her, yeah, that that scared the shit out of me,
As it should. That is a
and
horrible thing nowadays.
that is and I'm not saying that I'm against people for um, calling people out when they're super drunk, and if
Right.
the dude forces himself on you or she forces himself on you while you guys are fucked up, that's fucked up and they deserve to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
um, but if you're both consenting adults, like you're drunk and you like, if I always made sure, like any sexual encounter I ever had, I was like, yo, is this okay? I was that dude that asked that all the fucking time because I was
Dude,
so hands
Allie and
down.
I are engaged. I still make her sign a contract every time before we. No. This got to be legally binding that this consent is there.
Oh, you have, yeah, for sure.
No,
You
I'm kidding.
have to.
But I mean, the ridiculous thing is that this is something that goes actually unwatched. This actually started during Obama's presidency. Sadly, they started doing uh, fake courts. So the school could expel a guy despite the fact that they would have evidence to the contrary of him actually committing a sexual assault. So let's say that you both had drunken sex and it was, well, it was completely consensual, but then the girl regretted it the next day.
Yep.
Guys were still getting expelled for that from college
Yeah.
and given like they weren't given due process. There was no like system there. And there was just case after case after case of people just abusing this to get people kicked out of school, and it's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah. I agree. I
So
thankfully, one of my schools actually, or my school that I went to was on that Title IX list
mhm,
of not having gone through the proper procedures, and like there was investigation and everything, and there were many schools, like there was like 50, 100 some schools across the United States um, that were investigated by it. I don't know if it was the DOJ
mhm.
or it was one of like the high federal chains of command that did the investigation. But I never heard anybody, I guess, from like my school like complain or I guess talk ill will about how they handled it.
Yeah,
At least with the department that I worked for, which was the residence life department, they were always really good about it because
good.
they made sure that we as RAs knew what the fuck we were supposed to do if we ever were approached by that. And
Mhm.
um, I would think all of my bosses gave a shit. Like residence life people are pretty chill.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you're ever in
which is good.
college, residence life people should give a shit. And if they're not, that's pretty fucked up. And then you need to go report them to the authorities and get them fired.
Yeah,
Low key, knock on wood. Don't get anybody fired if they don't deserve it. And don't
right.
get anybody expelled if they don't deserve it. And don't be calling fake shit out,
Yeah,
please.
that's the issue. When you call fake shit, like there was a recent Air Force thing where the Air Force has just had a fucking terrible week. This guy wrote the N word on his stuff and other black people's stuff, and then blamed, and then just said it was a general abuse or something. Turns out after investigation, he did it to himself, and he got kicked out of the school. So it's
Are
like
you fucking kidding me?
that's the real thing. It's just like, how the fuck do you think that's okay? Because the like leader of the school put out a very strong statement against it, like a very perfect thing to say, like word for word. I don't have the transcript in front of me. It's just like, if you don't believe that you can treat someone with respect because of their skin or because of their gender, you can leave and should leave. Like it was a bunch of good stuff like that. Or
Okay.
I guess he said if because it's a woman, if you don't believe you can respect her because she's a woman.
Yeah.
First of all, we're all about respecting women here.
Oh, hands down, respecting women. We
Uh,
respect our women.
but if you don't think you can respect women, get out. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
perfect. If you don't believe you can respect people by their creed, by their religion, all perfect statement. And then turns out it's just a black guy doing it to himself. And similarly, on Halloween, somebody uh, chalked his own car with a bunch of racial slurs and said it was a Halloween prank after he was caught being the person who did it to himself. So I mean, like doing that, it's just like it ruins it for everyone else. So when you keep calling out fake stuff, it just looks like a boy who cried wolf when there are actual cases of terrible things that happen.
Yeah, that's
But
fun,
I
man.
digress.
Like I think maybe you can agree with me on this. Our technological age, I think, has made it more apparent that people are very hardcore into getting attention. Like they're 5 seconds of fame, they're like a week of fame if you're a mass murderer or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, I don't fucking get it. Like,
there are
why can't
nine
you just
episodes of
chill?
a podcast of fame.
I'm not doing this for the fucking fame. I'm doing this because I think it's fun.
Yeah,
Um,
agree. But
hands down. Yeah, because
there I
if you
go,
if you think
making it
we're
about
making
myself
money,
again.
if you think we're making money off this, just listen to our ad reads.
Oh God.
Listen to our ad reads. If you think anybody will sponsor us with these ad reads, you're fucking wrong. And please
Okay.
get out. We don't want you listening. Anywho,
Anyway,
um,
uh,
yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, they. Would you agree with that statement?
yeah, I would absolutely agree.
Okay.
I think it just broadens your voice to get attention. It's just kind of
Because these people, like you'll see on Facebook and Twitter and the news headlines, like people making the headlines of the week or the day on social media trends, social media posts, and doing stupid shit on the internet, or like getting caught like while somebody else was recording them doing something stupid and it like blew up on the internet. And then news outlets take like I like that. I like that fact, but it I think incurs a bad what's the word, notion or reason to do these things, just to get on Twitter or to be trending on Twitter or Facebook. It's
like that guy who
ridiculous.
shot himself in the head with a deagle through a book because he thought the book would stop it,
Oh my god, I remember that.
and now he's dead.
That makes
And his
me
fiance and his girlfriend is pregnant. And it's like, oh, good. Now that's a great story. Thank God they
that's
did that.
why.
I don't know.
Like
Stupid
that
people out there.
what
Yep, I don't
a
know. I don't
50
think you can explain
caliber
that one.
pistol.
Yep.
Not a 9 mil, not a BB gun,
Yeah, people are dumb. People are
oh.
dumb and really want attention, and the combination of those two things can be quite
It makes me
dangerous.
cringe. Logan, hit me with the funny ad read, please.
Gotcha. All right, because we wade through all the bullshit for you guys, but we do look forward to continuing the episode as always.
Of course.
But first, of course, we need a word from our sponsors.
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you hate the sound of silence? Do you prefer the sound of madness instead? If so, it sounds like you need to get medicated. The only way I know to fight the feeling is with the Beats pill. If you have ever been down with the sickness, you know you have to pump up the jam, get low, one step closer to that computer, and make it rain on Beats. For a limited time, use coupon code ISH for 0% off your next purchase. The Beats pill is not an actual medical solution to any issues. Side effects of the pill include sweating, nausea, headache, increased heart rate, the potential for short-term or long-term healing loss. Contact your doctor if you experience any medical problems. Make sure to also contact your doctor if you experience an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If there are issues develop, it is possible the Beats pill is not right for you.
God.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm never
That was
buying never buying the Beats pill. That was a great ad. That was a great ad. Thank you, Beats pill. Hashtag
Thank you,
not
Beats.
sponsored.
Hashtag not spawn.
Logan, what's the one thing you wished you had done during your childhood that you can't do now as an adult?
Learn more languages.
Ooh.
It's very difficult to learn a language when you get older. I know that I'm not quite out of the woods yet here. I'd still be able to learn if I put time and effort towards it. But the
Oh
issue
yeah.
is you kind of run low on time and you kind of pick and choose what you want to do with the rest of the time that you have. I wish I would have learned more languages. For example, like Mandarin Chinese. That would have been really cool to learn. If I could go back, I would do that. And then I'd be trilingual or like mastering Spanish, like being fluent in Spanish. That would have been nice. Being trilingual, that would be very useful. So
Yeah.
that would be what I would do.
Oh, cool. That's wow. You went a different route in
Hmm?
all honesty than I definitely would have.
Okay. What you think? What are you doing?
I'm thinking something stupid. Like, I was thinking, like, you know how kids like get away with the stupidest stuff, like low key. Like you can say, "Oh, he did it because he was a kid. Like he didn't really know any better." You
Okay.
know, like, and I'm not saying that his parents weren't being parents, because I definitely think that like a kid can get away with shit and still have good parents. I did it. Logan did it. Every single person, I should say every single person, But a majority of the people that I grew up with, we got away with some stupid shit, and we still have great parents.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have great parents, you should definitely talk to somebody and contact social services immediately. Thank you. Now, I think honestly, I would do some. I would do some like not off the wall, but like low key, like public indecency stuff. Like I wish I had gotten the courage to like walk around nude my like cul-de-sac, just because I didn't know any better. Like you can't do that now as an adult. You'll get arrested.
We went completely different places with that. You're right.
Like you'll get arrested. Like I want low key. I kind of want to visit a nudist colony just to see what they're like. But I can't do that now as an adult. If I walk out of my apartment complex completely naked, not only will I get arrested, but I'll be shunned, possibly fired for my job because I'll make the news. And yeah, I don't think I should get fired for what I choose to do in my free time.
Okay. All right. You may be taking that a little bit too far there. Oh God.
I'm totally joking, by the way. If I were to do that as an adult, I should get arrested. I should go to jail, and I should lose my job.
Yeah, you should.
Oh,
I agree with you 100%.
Oh God, I couldn't keep it together, like being serious for that long. Holy shit!
God, I thought you were being serious, and then you just started laughing, and I knew it was oh God, that was good.
Come on, dude. I
dude.
thought you knew me.
I do know you, man, but
I had you going. Okay, I'm glad I had
did.
I'm glad I had
I
you going there.
thought that invading questions was sacred. No, I'm kidding. Good.
Oh, Logan, tell me about our infamous Badgers and how they're doing.
Sure. So there's been a change recently to the way that college football works. For those of you who are not sports fans, you can just tune me out for a second here. I just got to go on a little rant.
Oh boy.
They changed the way that the postseason of the NCAA football works. Instead of being a bowl system where they select teams to go and play each other, just kind of subjectively, you have a bracket, a 4-team playoff, which decides your college champion. I was a huge proponent of that. I loved the fact that they changed that system. I disliked the BCS bowl system where they would just kind of randomly pick and choose based off of, I feel like there's more teams can get into the mix this way. In any case, the stupid thing about this is that they kept the coaches poll, the AP poll, so the things that rank your team, they kept those in place for like the first 6 weeks, and then they start using the college football playoff selection committee poll. So the Badgers were number 4 or number 5 going into the college football playoff poll system.
Yeah.
And now they were as low as number 9. I think now they're number 8 due to the past week of losses, things of that nature.
They are.
And I'm just confused. I'm very happy with where the Badgers are. That's where we deserve to be. We haven't played the tough part of our schedule yet. We haven't lost a game, but we also, haven't really played anybody yet. So I'm okay with this being number 8.
Neither has I was looking at a bunch of the other teams too, and like Georgia and Bama, like they played a few tough opponents, but like the Badgers, they haven't really played anybody that's like
right,
up there.
Right.
Like yeah, okay, definitely like the last 3 games, Badgers have their they have their Go on.
Yeah,
sorry.
The low part of our schedule, I'll say. And yes, we do have a weak schedule because we play in the weak part of the Big Ten, but you can't predict that. And we had a weak non-conference schedule, but you can't predict that either. You don't schedule your games the day before, like the week before.
Oh no, they're like scheduled like years before.
Scheduled years in advance. So when we scheduled BYU for our regular season as a non-conference opponent, BYU is a perennial 9-win team, very good. Typically, that would be a good matchup. Turns out they're going to be 2-8 this year and just suck ass. How are you supposed to predict that?
Yep.
We also, Michigan, with Jim Harbaugh, supposed to be, one of the leaders of the east side of the Big Ten. Ever since they got 12 teams, the Big Ten has 12 teams. Don't ask questions. I don't know how many teams the Big 12 has, but I don't know if it's 12 anymore. Anyway, they have the East and the West, and the Badgers are the perennial favorite on the West because the West is, you have
best.
Minnesota, Illinois, Nebraska, Iowa's pretty good, Northwestern's pretty good.
Yep.
But they're not, Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State as of right now. But Michigan is not supposed to be the 4th best team on that side. They're supposed to be, quite good. And so we have Michigan coming up, which is going to be a good game. We have Iowa, which is a good game. We have Northwestern, who we already beat, who is now a good game because they keep winning and going up the rankings. If we win out, we should make the college football playoff. But the debate is that since Wisconsin hasn't played anybody, they might be left out, despite the fact that at that point they would be an undefeated Big Ten champion and other teams would get in ahead. I'm going to make two quick arguments because that was my my 2.5 Twitter rant today was about that. If you say strength of schedule, look at Alabama. Give me one win that they have this year that's quality. I'll wait. Alabama hasn't played anybody. They're the number 2 seed right now. And Georgia and Alabama have to play each other at some point in the season. If one of those teams loses, the other one has to be out. Clemson lost to Syracuse, who is terrible. They should be out. Notre Dame is not a part of a conference. You can't be a conference champion. That should not hurt them, but it will not help them in the case of a tie.
Mm-hmm.
If Wisconsin's undefeated, they could be in over Notre Dame.
Yep.
Let's see. Who was the last one? Oh, yeah, Georgia, who plays Alabama. If they lose that game, they have to be out. They're a non-conference champion with a loss to a team that's already in the playoff. All right. So strength of schedule argument is also kind of gone because you can only play the teams in front of you. So if you beat every team that's in front of you, you can't really justify it being bad. And with the bulk of our schedule left, 3 of the games that we have of the 4 will be quality games. We will have to beat ranked opponents in 3 of them, and Minnesota is the 4th one. And Minnesota and the Badgers have a huge rivalry.
Yep.
Which you cannot take for granted in the Big Ten.
Nope.
Let's see, what is the last thing? Last week I heard somebody give an argument. So this has since been null and void because Oklahoma State lost, but in the same sentence, Wisconsin was discounted because they're winning games despite the fact that they don't have a huge passing presence. And Oklahoma State had lost a game, but that was discounted because they don't have that good of an offensive line, and their line was injured during their one loss. So riddle me this. If you are allowed to discount losses, why should you discount wins? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we're winning despite the fact that we don't have a good passing game. That'll leave you out of the playoffs. That argument is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It almost yeah. I'm gonna make like the super weird, like not weird, but like I don't think this comparison works. But you know how in like like it would take you so long to rank up, you know?
Yeah.
And you take a loss, and it just kills you.
Right.
Like you're demoralized. You want to quit. You want to throw all your shit out the window because you lost. That is what I feel like. That's what I'm comparing it to, almost.
Yeah, and that should be the case. When you have 120 teams, a loss should really hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's a very good comparison, Sam.
But you're talking about discounting wins, though.
Right. You should not discount. Like, if you're going to, if you're going to say that this team should have their losses discounted, then what's the point of wins? Right. So if you have 2 teams with or if you have a team with no losses and a team with 1 loss, but the team with 1 loss only lost because they weren't good at a position, how is that the winning team's fault? Right. So it won't happen now because Oklahoma State's out because they lost last week. But I would have been pissed off if Oklahoma State got in front of Wisconsin. That's all I'm going to say. In any case, I'm okay to move on. I know that I sunk a lot of time there.
Yeah.
I can breathe now.
That was our currently triggered segment. If you couldn't tell, I'm not really currently triggered like this week. As much as Logan is about the Badgers, I am kind of pissed. I'm a Badgers fan. I didn't know this was really the case because I don't follow college football as close as Logan does.
It's not that I'm triggered of where we are. It's that people would say even if the Badgers win out, they don't deserve to be in the playoff, and that doesn't make sense because we'd be undefeated. It doesn't make sense.
Correct.
That's why I'm triggered. That argument specifically?
I agree. Like, we should be in the playoffs if we go undefeated.
Correct. If we lose a game, we are out and deserve to be out.
Okay. Fair point.
So there's my statement.
Fair point. I am not currently triggered this week at all. Mostly, actually, no. If I get more sick, like I was, I'm getting over this cold, stupid ass fucking cold, and like I still have some congestion and shit, but my throat like really fucking hurt. Like I woke up this morning and could barely eat a bowl of cereal. Like I had to throw the rest of my, like I ate half my bowl of cereal. I was like, fuck, I have to go to work because I'm taking too long to eat this bowl of cereal. But I'm not really currently triggered. So that's
Good.
good. But no, actually, it could segue into like the next topic. But look, we're gonna move on into gaming now. So for those that are super bored, you can skip like probably 5 to 10 minutes past this. League of Legends Worlds happened this past weekend, and holy shit, the upset of the century. Actually, it's not really the upset though, because like if you look at SSG's record, like they've just been consistently fucking everybody, and then SKT is kind of consistently not been fucking everybody. They've been consistent at winning, but not like handily.
Right.
It was still going to be a good series. I thought it was going to go like 3-2 or something. No.
I jokingly said it was going to be a 3-0 for SSG, and then I said no, it's not, and now I just got shot. Like I have to stop making guesses because, like I've been right on my sarcastic guesses far more than with my normal ones. Like, oh god, saying Misfits was going to beat SKT, I was almost right. That is just like that. I'm still going back to that.
You were oh god, dude. I hope that happens again next year. Next year, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a poll, and like we're gonna have bets. We're gonna have bets on. If a certain team wins, we have to do something.
I'm okay with that.
I'm totally okay with that because that was I didn't get to watch the series because one, it was like at 2 or 3
like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, and I think I was sleeping. So yeah, like a 3-0 sweep, incredible. Like it was incredible. I think it was one of the first 2 games. SSG was down like handily, and they came back with some ballsy plays. Oh, so good. Baron steals and everything. Fuck yeah. So, do you have anything more to say about that, Logan? Because that's all I really wanted to say about it. I just gotta stop
guessing this year. That's all I gotta say.
So, the new Call of Duty World War II came out as well on Friday of last week. So it's nearly been out a week, and Logan has had time to play it. So, Logan, how is it? Tell me.
I think it brings me back to the older Call of Duty games. If you go back like 3 games or whatever it would be back to like Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops, back when it was better. Okay. Back when it was foot on the ground, running gun. I very much enjoy playing the game. I finally found a gun that I like using. It just took me a week, and now I'm gonna pull my disastrous KD back up to where it should be.
I'm actually not. I'm not too concerned about my KD starting out. I just want to get comfortable with the game and then go from there because I think I'm just gonna play it. I'm gonna try and play it day in and day in fucking out and just prestige and have as much fun with it as I can because it's been so fucking long since I played Call of Duty. Holy fuck!
I know, dude. It's a fun game, which is hard to say because I'm not one of those Call Mountain Duty type of people. Doritos and Mountain Duty. Yeah, I'm not one of those. But I do very much enjoy the game and getting the squad back together, and I can't wait for you to be back with the squad.
I'm excited, dude. I need to. I'm gonna be dropping some serious cash on some shit, so I might have to wait like an extra pay period to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Get all that stuff, but.
You just be a Christmas noob. That's all that matters.
I'm fucking fine with that. I don't care. I'll be like with all the other noobs. I'll play by myself for a while until I get back to your guys' level, and I'll feel better about myself.
Sam, I almost won a free for all yesterday. They're all noobs.
Holy shit. But I've been watching a lot of streams, and from what it looks like, it's like more fast paced than like Call of Duty 4, I think, and it's way harder to do well than what I've seen like from MW 3. MW 3, I could easily do a 1.52 KD.
Oh,
but like I'm struggling seeing like pros do well. Like consistently doing like well and playing the objective.
So many more shots to get a kill. So many more shots.
Yeah.
But it's like Black Ops, you hit people with like 3 bullets and they're dead. That game was easy to dominate. I agree with you for Modern Warfare 3. They just have better guns that you could dominate with.
Yeah.
This game, it does take a while to get kills. Like you just have to get used to it. But
that's true.
Playing CSGO, you're probably used to it already.
Oh, that's fucking true, yeah. Fucking tap a dude in the head. Oh, he's not dead? Oh, and then he one-taps me with... He one-taps me with the deagle from across the map? Oh, that makes sense. Thanks, Valve. God, fucking gaming. Anywho, so I guess that's all I really want to say about COD. The new COD came out. I'm looking forward to playing. I really want to play. I want to play it, mostly because the squad has been playing it a lot, and I've been absent. So I've been like sitting here playing PUBG and all these other games by myself, and it's fucking lonely. And I miss my friends, Anywho, the league preseason starts, I think, tomorrow. No, I think it's the 11th of November. And the changes that I'm looking forward to, the rune changes look pretty epic. And I'm excited to see how we get to adapt those, because I'm just probably going to go off of some fucking pro guide or something and see how that works until, like, I guess I figure it out for myself. So we've seen, like, I've seen people, I haven't seen much about item changes. I've seen, like, rune changes and all this other stuff, but I haven't seen much about, are they going to change the map? Are they going to change the jungle again? Because they've been consistently doing that from, like, season to season, like, these past 2 years.
I hope they don't change the jungle at all.
I like the jungle the way it is, honestly. I think the way it was before this most recent change, like the past year, I would say it's an improvement. It took a little adjustment period, but I like all the little nuances, like the scry, and the jump fruit, and there's another one. Is that
Blast Cone, Honey Fruit, and Scry Orb, yeah.
Yes, like I like those. Those are decent, and they add something to the game. But I hope they don't try to subtract anything from the game, and I wish they would come out with a new fucking map and game mode. That's
I wish
what
they
I
would
hope.
Bring 1v1 and 2v2 back. There you go. That's all that they need to do in order to make the preseason good.
I agree.
Make League good again. Bring us back. They did 1v1 like 3 years ago, and they haven't brought it back since.
That was for the what was that for? What event was that?
That was when they brought ARAM out.
Really?
Because it was on the Howling Abyss.
Oh shit.
So yeah, they need to bring that back immediately, because even if they brought back the Magma Chamber, I don't know if you ever saw that map.
Yeah.
That was what they did for like the pros for the 1v1 and 2v2. They just need to bring that out and then not touch anything about the map at all, and be fine. Yeah. I hope they don't make any more characters the entire rest of the time that they make the game, but they're not going to do that.
Oh my god, dude! It's kind of obnoxious.
To delete characters, and in fact, but
yeah, it's kind of obnoxious. Like, but the only reason they're doing it is so they can push money down people's, or get money and steal from people's wallets legally.
Yep. When you start creating a character, and if you've never seen it before, and I can describe it by connecting other players or other character abilities to the character, like a mishmash of them, that's when you know you need to stop making characters.
Like who?
And just start rebalancing.
For the newest one.
So Kayn. Kayn has abilities that are Renekton's E and Q combined into one. He has a thinner Scion Q, and he has Bard's ability to go through walls, except it's more free. And then his alt is more unique, where he goes inside of a character and then comes out.
Nope, I'm gonna compare that one to Zed.
Oh, sure.
Because Zed goes in like untargetable for like 0.5 seconds, but Kayn's like, I think probably
Kayn's a little under.
Second to 1.25. Yeah, I'm gonna compare it to Zed. So there you go. Helps your argument.
So there you go. We just made Kayn out of 4 other characters. It's like, well, maybe you should just stop.
I kind of like the way the game is. Like, I hope. Yeah. I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would not continue to make, like, if they spend I wish they would spend longer on a new character. Yeah. And make it fucking worth spending all of that IP or that RP if you do that. I think that would fucking help. I think that'd be cool. But no, they're not going to do that because oh my god, I also saw I think I saw Mark Merrill and their other co-founder. They stepped down from being like the operations people to going back to building a new game. So going back to being Riot Games plural instead of being Riot Game, because they've made one fucking
board game.
Yeah. Wait, do they really?
Anyway, yeah, it's based off of League. So
of course it is.
In any case, I think we're going down the rabbit hole here.
That's true.
Let's not back out. Let's get another ad read.
Alrighty. So this episode of Insert Slogan here is proudly provided by the new Call of Duty, World War II. Produced by Sledgehammer Games and distributed by Activision. Get the squad back together, because our previous games sucked and you couldn't justify buying a new console for them. Also, what better way to relive the Second World War by throwing the franchise Call of Duty in front of it? Call of Duty, World War II. It's in the game.
I like it. I like that.
Thanks, man.
That was good. All right, Sam. What's
Yeah.
your favorite social media to use
Twitter.
right now? I agree
Hands down,
wholeheartedly.
Twitter.
I need to Twitter more. I need to tweet more.
I
need to do
think
more twittering.
the instant access to like news shit, and then being able to like follow all of the um TV superstars and all like the people that I like on social media and popular celebrities. I like following them and being able to see like what they talk about immediately. I'm moving away from Snapchat now, honestly, and I never thought I would say that. Um, I don't. I'm not enjoying it. I'm looking at Snapchat. I'm looking at people's feeds and all that shit, and I'm like, God, this makes me depressed. And then I close out of the app, and yeah, that's about it. That's yeah.
And I stopped caring about Facebook years ago. So
I like going on there. Like too much. Like it's still a reflex. Like it's a bad reflex that I have. So I just
do you count YouTube as a social media? I don't personally.
No, it's more of a platform.
Right. I don't count it as much of a social media.
No,
okay,
I mean you can socialize.
Continue. All right, I didn't mean to interrupt.
For all those Google Plus fans, I think your time is done. I think your time is done.
Man.
Long time coming, but it's done, buddy. It's
Google
done.
Plus is dead. Sadly,
the only reason the only I agree. Like it's better than Vine, and Vine's been dead a long time.
I miss Vine.
Oh, I miss Vine too, so fucking much. I like it'd go Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook for top social media for me.
I have to go Twitter and then nothing else. I don't think I have any other form of social media that I really care about.
Okay, that's fair.
YouTube would be number 2, and that's barely there.
That's fair. That's fair. But, fuck, I was gonna say something else. Oh, the only reason that I would like invest in Google Plus or whatever, like invest my time into it, is if I had like a side business, because it's proven that if you connect your Google Plus shit, it shows up better in search engines and helps your SEO. So that's the only reason why. Good job, Google. Now, this is normally where we talk about mailbag. You don't know what mailbag is. Let me tell you. So this is the segment of the show where Logan and I check our separate emails, because we have those, because we're privileged white men. And we should, hopefully maybe sometime soon, get emails about any type of question. It's like an AMA on drugs, except we kind of screen the questions, of course. So if you have a question for Logan, you're going to send it to me, okay? So I get to choose Logan's question. And that email is pathosquestions. No, I lied. Pathos.biz. I always read it fucking wrong. Pathos.biz. Pathos.biz at yahoo.com. That is going to be in the description below. And if you have questions for me, you're going to email Logan at pathosquestions at yahoo.com. But I have none, Logan.
Nothing. Chat,
I'm going to talk to you for a quick second here before we go into our outro for the show. Colt Demand says, none of the guns are authentically right when we were talking about World War II. I agree, but also that has been apparent through the whole Call of Duty series.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like, Call of Duty, it was in Call of Duty 5, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Modern Warfare, all the guns, no, Modern Warfare 2 had some weird ones. And then Modern Warfare 3, like they've all been inconsistent since like Call of Duty 3. Like, Call of Duty 3 was the last one, I think, where it was like legitimate. No, maybe Call of Duty 4. Maybe Call of Duty 4. Maybe.
Yeah, they're quite bad about it. I'll be honest.
I don't really care though. I like the creativity of guns. Like the Type 100 on World War II looks fucking dope.
That's my favorite gun. That's what I'm using right now.
Yeah, I was watching. Who was I watching? Fuck. I literally cannot remember his name. He was playing for Optic, because Optic is doing like this 24/7 Master Prestige stream, and he's like, dude, I fuck with a Type 100 in pubs, but you're never gonna see anyone rock a Type 100 in comp ever. It's gonna be like, because it doesn't do enough damage. Like the PPSH apparently and the MP40 will do more damage, even if you hit all of your bullets directly onto a guy with a Type 100.
Interesting.
Still fun to use though. It looks hella tight. Like the recoil looks like not bad at all,
Oh, it's not bad.
and it just takes a little extra to kill somebody. That's the only
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Don't pull down when you're playing the game like in CS:GO because it doesn't matter.
thing.
Because I was doing that. I was like, why am I doing this? I didn't even play with a controller when I played CS:GO. Anyway,
Wait, holy shit! You were doing CS:GO strats in COD?
yeah, it was terrible. I should never have done that.
Wait, why?
You can't bring great strats to a not strat game. You know what I mean? Like,
Wait,
you
you're
can't play
saying
CS:GO and COD the same way because they're completely different games. It's a run and gun versus actual strategy.
that's fair.
So like, you can't, and pulling down does nothing in
That's
Call of
true.
Duty,
Yeah, unless yeah,
unlike
because you want to
CS:GO
go for
where you're
that
actually doing
headshot.
something.
You want to go for that
Right.
headshot.
Right.
I guess this will be the last thing like that for the chat section. You guys should do a game of the week, like a indie game or some shit for people to play and discuss.
Okay.
I like that idea actually.
I like that idea too.
Um, we'll have to discuss that more off stream. Or yeah.
Okay. I'll be sure to. Yeah, we'll have to make them cheap too because.
Oh, well, no. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Oh, so we just promote a game and then.
I'd say promote and talk about it, like because I don't know. We'd have to like yeah. We'd really have to. I would say $5 max.
Yeah.
$5 is the maximum I would probably.
And if it's
pay.
any more and I need you to get it, then I will get it for you because Bloody Traplands game #1. No, I'm kidding. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, but yeah. So this is the part of the show where we do outros and we rant about shit and we have a great time. This time, Logan's gonna go first. Logan, the floor is yours.
Sounds good. In light of recent events, including the shooting, the sexual abuse conduct, and all that stuff, I think that this week I'm just going to keep it light. Uh, I know my introductions for these speeches are very similar, and I'm going to try to get to the point a little bit quicker here. If you're considering getting a pet, be it a cat, dog, or some Nickelodeon combination of the two, make sure to consider adopting from a shelter or foster program. The reason I bring this up is because, like I stated earlier, I have a new addition to my family. Before I get into that, I want to lay out a little background information for you. The apartment my fiance and I live in for about 2 years allows for pets. Ever since then, my fiance has been hounding me to get a dog. See what I did there? I'm very happy that she did, though. Last week, we made a trip to Omaha, Nebraska to pick up our new Shiba Inu Jack. And for those of you who don't speak Japanese or know the breed off the top of your head, it's the same breed as Doge, the Doge meme, and he is amazing. And here are some quick facts about Jack. He's 8 years old, 20 pounds, fantastic on leash. I've never walked with a calmer dog. Uh, he barks when he hears something outside the hallway of our apartment, but it's never loud enough to actually annoy our neighbors. Um, he chases his tail with the enthusiasm of a puppy and would rather play fetch with himself than anyone else. Lastly, if his food or water is low, he will pick up the bowl and drop it on the ground to let you know. So, absolutely fantastic dog. Cannot be happier with what we have so far. At this point in my rambling, you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with anything? Why can't you just get to the point? The point is, people give adopted animals a bad rap. Although not all stories will be the same, there are a lot of good animals out there who are looking for a home. And there are many animals that are currently in foster programs or in need of adoption from shelters or rescues. There are not too many reasons to forego a shelter or rescue as well. If you're worried about the population of adoptable animals being inundated with specific breeds, that isn't the case. In fact, if you run a search for a dog breed specific rescue, you'd be surprised with what you find. If you believe that the animals are more expensive, that isn't necessarily the case either. Most adoption agencies exist as nonprofits because they want the dogs to get homes, so price is rarely an issue. They're going to be, it's going to be a dog. It's not going to be super expensive, but it's not going to be incredibly cheap either. Sadly, across the board. Uh, but they're trying to perform a charity. Any cost you incur will be to maintain the network that you're supporting, and it's worth every penny to get these animals homes. Uh, if you have any issues, shoot me a tweet, send me an email. I'd be happy to help answer any questions I can. And in conclusion, I'll leave you with the cringy plan words that it pains me to say, but captures the point. Please don't limit yourself to a pet store breeder. There are many animals out there that could use your love and affection. Uh, they also want a place to live the rest of their lives as happy as possible. It is up to each of us to assist because, after all, the goal of animal adoption is to help each pet find their forever home. Go ahead, Sam.
Forever home.
Forever home.
That was pretty good. So mine's a little more serious. And I went to a wedding last week. And the day after the wedding, we went to a Catholic church. And Logan knows this, but I'm not Catholic. I'm not like a huge proponent for religion anymore. We used to actually play in a church band together, no lie. And the reason I played in the church band was because I really liked the music, and I believed that I still do believe that music has a way of bringing people together, regardless of what it's about. Now you can throw out like the hate bands and all that shit, but that's still bringing people together about a certain topic. I don't agree with it. I'm getting off topic. So nowadays, being homophobic is frowned upon by the majority. Acting like a racist bigot will get you slapped and beat. And slamming the current POTUS for his ridiculous tweets or statements he said on CNN this morning is, normal. We've gotten pretty damn used to throwing out opinions like they're facts, when in fact, see what I did there, we have done little to no research to back them up. And opinion is one thing. It's neither right nor wrong, unless it's, of course, morally wrong. Like if you think murdering an innocent person is justified beyond a reasonable doubt, we're going to have to talk quietly with bars possibly between us, because you're going to be in jail and I'm going to be on the other side. But what's more messed up is that we do nothing to back our statements or brush it off if we get proven wrong, which is fine. In all honesty, I have no problem with being wrong at all. It's an opportunity to learn and gain knowledge. Some of us just refuse this avenue of success and opportunity. Stubbornness makes you look like a fool, a prideful fool at best. It's silly to not bend your opinion or ask the question, why does this person think this way? Which is totally different than the way I think. Like I said before, we're too engrossed in throwing our opinions out there and calling them facts. I've heard it said many times that millennials are more open-minded than other generations, which is also backed by numerous studies. I've also read that older generations can be set in their ways and closed-minded. I've met people that fit those descriptions, and I've also met people that are the exact opposite. An older gentleman with more love in his heart and wisdom on his tongue than a 23-year-old college graduate, closed-minded, and set in his ways, about the world. I'm sorry, I need to take a drink of water. My throat is killing me. Are we bringing Jack to Sorry. We're showing Jack to the stream. Oh.
Yeah, we're trying to bring him here, but he has a mind of his own, sadly. He's actually quite smart and knows what he's doing. But go ahead, Sam. I'll distract the podcast with Jack.
Okay. Think of the lost friendships and networking the dude or dudette is missing out on. Like, the time to be alive is now. Knowledge at our fingertips and the chance to talk to people with differing points of views on so many topics. Politics, religion, education, economics, and the list goes on. I just listed controversial and somewhat boring topics. Dare to think outside the box, not live in it until it crumbles around you. And we're going to take a break so I can look at this wonderful dog. Oh, I look so adorable. Come here. Hi.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick him up at all because he hates that. But
Allie will?
Allie's going to give it a shot. He actually likes Allie, so that'll be... So for
easy. Hi, buddy.
This is my Doge. His name is Jack. Thank you.
He looks so adorable.
He absolutely is.
Oh. Does he have like a normal bedtime too? Like, does he go to bed at a certain time?
Oh, he's nocturnal. I don't know. It's really weird.
Oh, interesting.
Well, he sleeps all day anyway, just because, he's a pet dog. So
that's true.
He typically eats at night because he doesn't like eating in front of people, like most dogs. Like most dogs don't like being fucked with when they're eating. Anyway, sorry, Sam.
For sure.
You were speaking.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Got a little bit left. So, dare to think outside the box. Don't live in it until it crumbles around you. And I thought of this as I went to a Catholic mass this past Sunday, and I thought to myself, like immediately, like when my girlfriend told me the day before, or was it 2 days before, like, hey, you're gonna have to go to church. I'm like, why me? I could be sleeping. I could be doing so much more, blah blah blah. That thinking gets me nowhere. It closes me off to absorbing the environment and people that are around me, thus closing me off to a learning opportunity. When I adapted my mind to soak in the different religion than what I'm used to, which is practically no religion or not going to a church, I kind of enjoyed myself. Still, definitely not my scene, but I appreciated it more. And I looked at it as it was. People practicing their religion the way they saw fit. Cool. What gives me the right to shit on their practice? Makes me no better than a person to type frantically on Twitter about how unfair the world is and how they didn't get their Dunkin' coffee and how life is hard and blah, 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 blah. Fucking lazy. I'll end my rant with a quote from a band I listened to in high school. Open your mind before your mouth. And that's going to be episode 9 of the Insert Slogan Here podcast. Thank you so much for listening. See you next week.
Have a good one, guys.